Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to the Lamborghini Pavilion at the 2019 Geneva International Motor Show. I'm Jason Barlow. Welcome back to those of you who were watching earlier on Lamborghini's social media channels. And if you weren't watching, what were you doing? Where have you been? And you might be wondering what you've missed. Fortunately, we have it all covered. Here's a little highlights package from earlier on.
We are here to present the Huracan Evo Spider, and of course is using for the first time a connectivity base that is fundamental for our young customer generation. Lamborghini is not only this. We are here together to launch the SVJ Roadster. Super cool, fantastic color, fantastic line. This is the Urus, the super SUV. Matte version, together with specific and unique details with carbon fibers and other contents. Thank you very much, and enjoy together here in Geneva what is Lamborghini of today.
Okay, so that's what happened earlier on in the press conference here at the Lamborghini Pavilion. Obviously you can see one of the stars of the show behind me. It's the Huracan Evo Spider, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to welcome onto my stage Mitja Borkert. Hello, Mitja.
Hey, ciao, Jason. How are you?
Mitja
Hello.
is the head of design at Lamborghini Centro Stile. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes,
Mitja?
very well. Thank you so much.
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. Look, we have all the Lamborghini stand for us. We can talk about design.
It was super busy here this morning, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was.
We were trying to pen people away,
honestly
but
speaking, at that time, I'm quite exhausted.
Okay.
But but to talk about design, I can never be exhausted.
Good.
So
You had some coffee, yeah?
yes, of course,
Okay.
a couple of.
Let's get stuck in. Okay, the Evo Spider. Now, one of the interesting things to me is the challenge between taking a beautiful coupe and then chopping the roof off. Historically, Spiders are often very elegant and very pretty cars.
Yeah.
Lamborghinis are, more aggressive. How do you find taking the roof off?
No, I mean for sure.
Walk us around the car.
Jason, but first of all, look at all the cars. I mean, look, we are here in Geneva, ready. The spring is arriving.
Yeah.
It's
This is the show that kickstarts the automotive
exactly.
year,
I mean, for us designers, it's the day. Later on will be the designers' night also. So for us, it's the first meeting of all the designers, and for Lamborghini to present the cars for the new season. It's our new collection for this year. So Evo Spider, SVJ Roadster, Evo Coupe, and the very nice Urus with the flat grey color.
Matte grey.
Yes.
Yes.
So, the Evo Spider, of course, when you design a Spider, it is all about proportions. You will for sure say it is always about proportions, but on a Spider and Roadster version, it's always about the proportions. Because, you have to watch the proportions between the door, the front roof, and, that the rear back is not, too heavy. That all the proportion is in balance. This is important.
Okay, when you're designing a car, and it's a coupe, that's what you're thinking about. Are you also in the back of your mind going, we're going to take the roof off this car at some point?
Honestly speaking, you start with a coupe. And I mean, for Lamborghini, this single center line that I always call the Gandini line from Marcello Gandini, our famous founder of our design DNA back then in the late 60s and early 70s.
Yeah, the man who did the Mura.
Yes, our maestro, I have to say. And, the guy that created all of these inspiring shapes. He also started, with the single center line. That's why I call it the Gandini line. I'm always saying that maybe Lamborghini, we are having the strongest design DNA in the entire automotive world. It's quite bold to say that, but it is like this because you can tell, for example, sometimes at home I'm sketching. So my little son, came to my desk and I was sketching this single center line. I just started and accidentally he arrived and he was saying, Papa is a Lamborghini, just by the line. And that made me think about it because, you can name our entire brand just by this silhouette.
And he said, Papa, can you go make my tea?
Exactly, yeah, he's 2 years old to buy me a car. No, but I mean, this is
How
for
old
me.
Is he? 2?
Now it's 4,
Okay.
but it
But
happened
he
already.
recognizes that.
Yes,
It's amazing,
and when you
isn't
think
it?
about it, yeah, and also, I don't know, maybe some people have seen in the internet that we have shown a little video when we presented the Terzo Millennio, the concept car, in front of a bunch of children, in front of a school in Sant'Agata Bolognese, and how they were flipping out in terms of, because they recognized immediately also that car, a Lamborghini.
This is a really important point, isn't it? You know, for all of us who love cars, who are of a certain age, we've got to transmit that passion to the next generation as well.
Yes,
So that's something
that's
that
why
must
I'm a designer. That's why, we do believe, and we are in the perfect shape, as you can see, but we do believe that in 10 years, in 20 years, or I'm saying even in 50 years, the children and the people will dream about supercars.
Yeah.
Whatever engine will be inside, no one knows,
Yep.
but for me that will survive.
Okay, right. Look, can we get the cameras over here? Let's.
Yes.
It's not awful. I mean, we have the entire stand to
Yes.
ourselves. We have a bit of a walk around the car.
For me,
Where do we start? I love this line.
Yes, I mean the crisp look of the car. You know, this is our new green. So it's as you can see, the orange and the green is the new generation of our colors. So they are more sparkling, so more, they are more alive, and they show very well the crisp lines and the shade and the highlights of the car.
Can I ask you, do you think there's a form language do you think more primary colors? Do you think this is orange? This has got to be orange, or this has got to be a bright, high key color, rather than a black color, which is a
usually my
thing.
colleagues, all the designers, when we are doing the design models, they will be painted in silver, because in silver you can see really precise where's the shadow, where's the proportion of a surface on top. But I mean, we are also doing that inside of Centro Stile Lamborghini, but I'm tending to create already an idea of a car together with the color. Because, for me, a color is underlining a character on the car. And for example, the SVJ Roadster that we're talking about later, it is, also showing this bronze color that is underlining.
Okay, but this is the Hurricane Evo Spider,
Yes.
and you're showing it in this green. What statement are you making by showing it in
green,
this
for
color?
example, green is not everybody's choice in terms of color,
Yeah.
but I think it is fitting perfectly to the Spider. I mean, you can see the crisp lines on the Y shape, the Y shape on our new design front end. You can see the added volume that we did on the rocker panel. By the way, we took the surface further out, and it's inspired by the rocker panel of the Reventon or the Murcielago.
Oh, yeah. This is great, isn't it?
And just talking about proportions,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the rear. I mean, this is a sexy rear end for sure. And, our clients were asking for more super sports feeling. And so we have decided to mount a high, to implement the high mounted exhaust pipes.
Yeah.
So they are, closer to the engine. So we are saving weight. But also we have in the same moment, we have more space for
diffuser.
Downforce.
So, I was going to ask you about aerodynamics. In fact, we talked about this earlier on,
Yeah.
I think. I'm always fascinated by the balance in high-performance car companies. Okay, so having driven this car, I know what it can do around a circuit. I understand the requirement for big downforce, and you can really feel it. When you're working with the guys, and they go, Mitya, it's got to have this.
Yes.
It needs this
Yes.
diffuser. It needs
Yes.
it needs this at the front. It needs a spoiler. We got to generate these numbers. Do you go, okay, is this an opportunity? Or are you like, oh, no, how am I going to reconcile
No, I mean,
aero with aesthetics?
you might think I'm not telling the truth, but I'm responsible for Centro Stile, so I have some experience in the wind tunnel, and we have a quite young design team, and sometimes, they are doing corners for the first time. So I'm always telling my guys, hey, in Italian, tranquillo, we will solve this area. In usual, I would say, in Lamborghini, we are such a small team that when we have to find a solution together with the aerodynamical engineers, I honestly saying, I'm always happy when they come, because it's also an opportunity. Because sometimes the engineers are having maybe a solution for something that you didn't think about before as a designer.
Okay.
So for me, for example, race cars are an inspiring source.
They have their uses then.
Exactly. So but for me, it's always a pleasure to find a solution. And on the Huracan Evo, of course, you cannot do very extreme things, because this is
I don't extreme.
But it's for me a timeless design. The Huracan is our design piece, you know. It is fun to drive, fun to look at, and that is for me, you know, the philosophy designing this car. In the end of the day, what I want is our product portfolio to be fitted in the perfect way, you know, and Huracan is really, I mean, is the starting point for some clients to, you know, experience our brand.
It's the gateway Lamborghini, really,
yes,
isn't it?
Exactly.
This black finish here on the vents around the rear end, that's quite strong as well, isn't it? I mean, really pumps up that green as well.
Of course. You know, if it is too much green, it would look too heavy, so we have decided, you know, to have it in combination with the black, you know, glossy. There's one important detail, you know, because with this car, when you drive it, you can drift quite well. But to drift quite well, you need to have control. And when you look at the interior, for example, we have designed and we have finished now a complete new sport seat. That is a bucket seat, but it is completely foldable, so you can adjust for any back and for any size of people.
Do you like designing seats?
It belongs to you know, it has to be, you know, it has to have a family feeling all together.
It's a good seat. All right, that's the Huracan Evo Spider.
Yes.
Follow me, guys. I think we need to go and talk about this bad boy.
Yes.
The SVJ Roadster in Bronzo Zenas. And do you know who Zenas was?
Tell me.
He was an assistant to Zeus. So even mythological gods had spin doctors or assistants, PR advisors.
You are well informed. You are
well,
perfectly.
I had to look it up. It didn't just come off the top of my mind.
No, I mean, first of all,
look
I mean,
this thing, man. This is
for
crazy.
me when I look at the Aventador, is for me a sculpture that is always amazing, and for me, the Aventador is always the starting point for our design DNA. So whatever we will talk on the Huracan or what we will talk on the Urus, in the end of the day, all the design cues of this car are, you know, visible in our other cars. For me, first of all, I mean, I was talking about the single center line, the Gandini line.
Yeah.
The most important second one is when you see a Countach, when you see a Diablo, when you see an Aventador SVJ Roadster, and you can see the car from far away, you will see with that strong angle of the front window, of the side glasses, this is the typical proportion of a Lamborghini. And this is absolutely recognizable, and you cannot mistake by any other supercar brand.
I was thinking driving, I mean, this truly the Aventador, particularly the SVJ, the coupe, I've been lucky enough to drive that. I like the fact that you are still intimidated when you get in it, because it's cab forward and you're aware of this vast 6.5 litre V12 engine behind you. It's almost like you look over your shoulder. You know, there's like a big mythical beast over there or something. So.
Especially on the Roadster, you know, because you can open this little window, and it's, you know, giving you more sound when you drive the car open. It's amazing.
ALA, active aerodynamics,
Yes, aerodynamic Lamborghini Attiva. So it is the ALA system, very important, because, you know, the work together with the engineers started on the front, you know, to create here the best aerodynamic system. So we have some flaps that are opening, also using the Venturi effect, creating more downforce, but the system, of course, is working perfectly together with the rear wing.
I mean, this is exactly what we were just talking about, the meeting of aesthetics and aerodynamics. I mean, on the one hand, this is like some sort of crazy futurist sculpture, but the way the airflow works around the rear of the car, the way it's vented, and what it actually does, how it acts on that rear spoiler is extraordinary. So please explain it if you can.
I mean, when sometimes, you know, my thoughts when we design also the details on the car is how does it look if you take it and put it on the wall? Really? No, but I mean, for me, pieces on a car, they have to be designed in this way, that when you take them out of a car, that they are themselves a sculpture. And I mean, here my team has done a perfect job. I mean, this is perfect Lamborghini, visionary, technology, aerodynamic and design, everything together. So when you look at this Y shape, the Y shape, we have to talk about the hexagon also. It's our signature. So we were using this Y shape that we have done on the Huracan Evo on the front. We took it here on the rear, and when you see that from the top, it looks super amazing.
Is a car like this an entertainment? Do you see yourself in the... It's funny talking about Marcello Gandini. The Miura was just beautiful, sinuous, sensual. It's got hips and curves. The Countach I'm not sure if you would describe magnificent. It's like a spaceship.
It's art. It's automotive art. Yes.
Where does the Aventador and this latest SVJ Roadster version, where do you think it sits on that? If there's a line between entertainment and kind of beauty?
It came yesterday because I came here to Geneva with the coupe version. And yesterday it came a couple of times in my mind to drive and to enjoy the Aventador as an event in every moment.
Exactly.
It is an event driving it, it's an event to listen to the engine, to start the engine, to stop the car, to park the car, to open the doors. It is in every little detail an event, to look at the car. I mean, you can... I
just look, the block is painted the same colour as the exterior as well.
No, but this is, a sculpture that is like really going all together. No, I mean, in the end of the day, for me, it's sometimes also like a motorcycle. You could take the car also, if you can afford, in your living room and just enjoy it as a sculpture. You look at it.
It's a piece of modernist
art.
No,
you can walk around and you will discover so many little solutions on air outlets and a diffuser. Also here, I'm a big fan of motorcycles, and I like the super sport bikes that have the exhaust pipes in the higher position. So that was the inspiration for all the cars here to have that high mounted position. Of course, technically it's shorter, so we are saving also some weight and we have more space for the diffuser. But that is something for me underlining the car, because of course, especially an Aventador, it is, I would say, not an everyday car for sure. You take it out for your personal event, to enjoy the car on the weekend or on special days, special occasions, and together with that beautiful livery with the white lines that we took.
And it's a shape that's been around a while, but it's continually evolving.
No, but it's
and
timeless.
Yielding more entertainment.
It is timeless. It is our timeless beauty. It is the car that is containing all the DNA of Lamborghini in every little millimeter.
Okay, that's the Aventador SVJ Roadster.
Yes.
This is somewhat different, but it's been a big hit. And here it's, the Urus SUV, presented in Grigio Jerez. I'm learning all your colours. I've learned about 4. There's only about another...
Grigio Jerez.
Yes, thank you.
Exactly.
Only another 329 colours to learn.
Oh, it is. It's a car that I like very much, because that grey, this matte grey, is really giving the car a precision. So for me, it's important when you compare the Aventador and the Urus, you can see that we took the design DNA of the Aventador, of Lamborghini, into the Urus. As a, let me say, not secret, but maybe the people that didn't hear the story, the Urus for sure is following the design DNA of Lamborghini, but we have combined elements from the LM002. So there are 3 characters.
Thought about the LM, that was the mid-80s. It's almost like
the first,
the Rambo Lambo.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So you looked at that when you were working on this.
Of course. So, for example, I mean, can you see the 3 elements that are similar to the car? I tell you.
Show me.
So, first of all, when you look at the side profile, the LM was, of course, designed more or less, with the ruler, so really straight lines.
It's quite boxy,
so, but the feeling that we have here, climbing up and changing the direction, when you see that and when you compare that side profile, we have some nice sketches where we have visualized this. You can see the same feeling, but of course here we did it in an unexpected way, but the feeling is the same like on the LM. Second is the wheel arches. So they are not just round wheel arches. As you know from the Countach, the rear wheel arch is also not round. So, but we took also inspiration from the LM that is having these kind of edgy wheel arches, but also here more accelerated. But also
geometry.
Yeah. So, but when you take a look at the character, they are quite similar in terms of acceleration. And last but not least, small element, the air outlet here, the triangular air outlet, that is also inspired from the LM002. We have added here an Italian flag. That what we did there as well, because we wanted to show proudly it's developed, it's designed, and it's built in Santa Gata Bolognese. And then, of course, we spoke about hexagons, Ys, Y-shapes. You can see in every little finishing of a line, you can see a Y shape.
My last question to you, we could talk all night, but we can't do that. You guys, designers, are always telling me that you battle like crazy over the last 2 or 3 millimeters.
Of course.
Tiny.
Yes.
And I always struggle to kind of really sort of visualize that. Why do those last couple of millimeters matter so much?
Some designers are saying a good car from a bad car, the difference sometimes are a few millimeters in terms of proportion. So as designers we have to fight, I don't like the word, but we have to really watch that the proportion of a car is right from the beginning. It's the most expensive moment because, you know, when the proportions of a car are fixed, then, you know, to change after, or
tricky.
You know, it's tricky,
Expensive.
and also you are struggling with the design. So, but then, I mean, you have to think always also for the material. Yeah. So, you know, if you want to design something that is later made out of aluminium, you cannot give maybe a certain shape, you know, because you need to think, is the material also able to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, we can talk, like you say, for more than, I mean, for some hours about the details, but you see the passion that we have?
I do.
Yeah.
And you're doing a magnificent job, seriously.
Thank you.
I love talking to you guys. Mitja, I would say, because I basically wanted to be a car designer when I was a kid, that you have the best job in the world. You are the head of design at Lamborghini. But there is one guy, you know him.
Yeah,
The Chief Technical Officer.
Yes, of course.
Maurizio
It's my
Reggiani.
fantastic boss, yes, of course.
I know he thinks he has the best job in the automotive business.
I think so, for sure. Okay, thank you very much.
Let's meet you. Let's hear from Maurizio Reggiani, Lamborghini's Chief Technical Officer. Here he is. Okay, so here I am with Maurizio Reggiani, who's the Chief Technical Officer of Lamborghini. Maurizio, that is surely the coolest job in the world, in all of cars anyway.
I think it's a job that everybody would like to do because everybody see the marvelous parts of the game, but it's clear that to be inside when you develop a car like this, when you design a car like this, the first time that you sit in a car and you experience the car, it's something, an emotion really unique.
And technology, which brings me to the Huracan Evo, which features the LDVI, the Vehicle Integrati.
Lamborghini Dinamica Veicolo Integrata.
That's the one, yeah. I'll just say LDVI.
LDVI.
Okay, and I've driven this car and it is superb. I don't think I've ever driven a high-performance car that is as easy and as accessible. You can travel very quickly in this car and still feel like you're well within yourself. How have you developed that technology?
We have tried to understand what can be the new frontier for the development. And what we recognize is that today what is difficult is the fact that the car is able to understand and to predict what the driver wants to do.
Yeah, you say that, and I've driven it. How does it work?
Is working putting inside all the inputs that a driver can give to the car without thinking.
Okay.
And normally, when you are sitting in the car, you touch the steering.
Yes, you on the pedals.
You feel what kind of mode you want to select it. If you want to be safe, fun to drive, or super sharp in terms of performance. You give input with the pedal. If you release a little bit the accelerator, or if you push accelerator, if you touch a little bit the brake. These are inputs that you give without to think to the car. And after the car have other, let me say, sensors that are, for example, the damper. We recognize if you are in a damping road, if you are in a flat road, and this is important. We use, for example, ASP sensor to understand if you have a slip, wet, ice, or if you are in a dry condition. We have a piattaforma inerziale that tell us if you are in a fast cornering or no. We took all this information, and with the LDVI we are able to process this in a time that is unbelievable. Less of a blink of eyes, and to prepare all the system of the car with torque vectoring, with front and rear axis, with the output of the engine, in order to do exactly what you want to do.
So the Reggiani who worked in the Diablo in 1995-96, this is the stuff of fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're doing it.
In Diablo we don't have also ABS, and what we say every time in the Diablo, you go, you push, and or you are a good driver, or you can only cross the finger and to wait that something happened.
But we've spoken about this before, and one of the important things about Lamborghini is that it's a car that the emotion is overwhelming, the sensation is overwhelming. So how do you keep the chassis at the heart of the experience and don't let the software electronics take over?
First of all, you start from engine. When you touch accelerator, you hear the naturally aspirated engine of V10. It's something that in terms of emotion, in terms of responsiveness, no other engine can give to you. You have like a connection between your feet and the accelerator of the engine, means you perceive immediately an explosion of sound.
Yes.
And the other is that also when you discharge the power, the chassis work not to control the power, but to control that you are able to put as much as possible power on the single wheel and on the asphalt. This is a completely different from the system that is cutting continuously the output of the engine.
So like an old-fashioned traction control system or something.
Here you driver don't want to perceive nothing.
Yeah.
We move torque from left to right, from front to rear, without that the driver can perceive that something happened.
And I've driven it and I can tell everybody that's exactly how it is. It's a staggering achievement. But you're a chassis guy still at heart though, aren't you?
Yeah,
or do you find this new Frontier like, it's like a gold rush
I think I can tell you that, for example, when you put in sport and you arrive and you approach a fast cornering and you have a car that starts to drift a little bit, and you are able to continue to drift without counter steering, that is a maneuver of professional driver, you became a hero. If you have your girlfriend seated close to you, say, wow, my man is really a best driver of the world.
Or it might be the lady driving the car
also,
and she's able to demonstrate to her other half.
And the man will be scared and say, oh my God, what is seated close to me?
So that's an LDVI. Let's talk about the HMI very quickly, if we may.
Yeah.
Also, massive strides here from Lamborghini.
I think also if you take this was one of the parts where you spend more time. When you are sitting in a car, you have HMI, you have a central tunnel that is your friend.
Yeah.
And what we decide is really to create this kind of touchscreen interface where you can really easily approach, means to give input, but receive a big amount of output. And this was without to have any kind of distraction. For example, if you need to tune the volume, you don't have to need catch something. Only with two fingers you go up and down and you adjust the volume. With three fingers you can remove completely the volume of the car. And from the other side, you have a connectivity that is already a good level. You have a point of interest in the maps, you can have a web radio, you can have an interface really easy. Plus, you have all the system, like is in this car, of telemetry.
I'm back in the Diablo again. It's like you had a steering wheel and some air vents, so it's a stunning achievement.
This is something really to put also for the new generation, something that they love.
Yeah.
They have much more familiarity with older style people like me, but this is the future also in the super sport car.
Okay, talking about the future, when we look out across the show to the other stand, we will not talk about them too much. Electrification.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this. The Aventador, naturally aspirated V12, naturally aspirated V10. These are beautiful, wonderful things. Do not let them go. But how are you going to embrace electrification at Lamborghini?
I think if we talk about super sport car, it's clear that the new generation will be contaminated from electrification. What is important is that the new Aventador must maintain the DNA that we have today. Means when you are sitting in a car, you must perceive immediately that it's a Lamborghini. Means sound, responsiveness is Lamborghini. It's clear that we need to integrate a level of electrification that allowed us to go down in terms of CO2, fuel efficiency, that give the possibility to be in some movement of the car in pure electric mode. But we need to respect the weight of the car, the packaging of the car, and the emotional of the car.
But you have to future-proof Lamborghini as well.
Yeah.
Because we're in a changing world.
This will be the big task for my team, for my engineering, to be able to prove that when you seated is an hybrid, but is a Lamborghini without any kind of doubt. This will be the future.
Thank you.
Grazie.
See you soon. Welcome back to the Geneva International Motor Show. It's 2019, and that was Lamborghini's Chief Technical Officer Maurizio Reggiani explaining the incredible technological journey that the brand is on. It's on another pretty amazing journey, the personalization one. This is a company that has created its own colours. Can you imagine that? Such scientists, over 330 in fact. And here to explain more and to explain how the ad personam personalisation programme works is Chief Commercial Officer Federico Foschini. Here he is. Well, welcome to the Ad Personam Lounge or studio. This is backstage, the Lamborghini Pavilion at the Geneva International Motor Show. And I'm joined now by Federico Foschini, who is Chief Commercial Officer of Lamborghini. Hello, Federico.
Hello.
So, Ad Personam, this has become a very important part of Lamborghini's business, hasn't it?
Yes, so we have the certainty that this is one of the most important pillars for our business. This is coming mainly from our customer, because our customers are asking more and more to have a dedicated configured car with their own specification, and this is a trend that is increasing. So we have more than 50% of the cars that at the moment are configured with a Personam program, and especially on the Aventador we have more than 70% of these cars that have at least one ad Personam contents. This means that our customers, especially the ones that are buying a very expensive product, are really willing to have a personalization that is giving them the possibility to tell that their car is different from the others one.
Sure.
We are keeping on developing this program. We want always to give something more, to go out of the normal boundary, to give the possibility really to go on a level of imagination and on a level of freedom that is always higher, because as I told, our customers are willing to invest, to have something that is really different. We also open in Lamborghini in 2015 our ad Personam studio that is really something similar but with another size. That is something that we are using very much. Customers are willing to come in Sant'Agata to see the factory, the assembly line, to understand what they can do, looking at the cars that are on the assembly line, and after they come with us in the studio and they configure their car with the maximum freedom.
This is like a candy store, isn't it?
Yeah, we are importing also this concept also in all our dealership. All our dealership has this kind of studio lounge, because we think that also when they come to the configuration at the dealership, they need to have this kind of feeling that gives them the impression that they can really do whatever they want with their car.
Now, I understand that Lamborghini via ad Personam offers 330 separate colours.
Yes.
You invent your own colours.
Yeah, so
I'd like you to take me through all 330 right now. No, I'm joking. No. But this blue matches your suit. It's very nice.
Yeah. This is a special livery that
blue Emera.
Yeah, and also the different kind of color that we have, also the gray, and so this is something to show how easy it is to configure and to have different configuration on the Huracan Evo. Huracan Evo is our new born from the Huracan family, and one of the pillars of the Huracan Evo is really the possibility of personalization. We increase to a very high level the customization possibility together with our Centro Stile, and you see that in the front and in the rear you can have a lot of opportunity in terms of color combination, in terms of scheme of color and then trim. There are colors that were really invented by our customers. They came with sample of something and they told, okay, give me this car in this way. Yeah, the famous tie color, no? I bring you my tie and I want the car in the same way. And at the end of the day, we collect all
Maybe with the spots like that?
Yeah, we can do if you want, so we can try at least. But we succeed to do almost everything our customers were asking us. If you come in our production line, for example, in the finishing, that is the last part of the assembly line where the car are prepared for the shipment to the dealer and after to the customer, you see that there is no one car equal to the other, and this is extremely healthy also from the sales point of view, because it means that all our customers had their opportunity to get their own configuration. So you don't see a row of black car, white car, or red car. You see each and every car specified in a different way, and you see a number of colors that is really incredible, really on the reality. It's not just a matter of having on a catalog. We see really daily that in our production line, in our finishing line, we have a line of cars that is each one different from the other. And this, at the end of the day, is a good thing, and is becoming more and more one of the part of the DNA of Lamborghini. Lamborghini is performance, is design, is driving emotion, but now is also color. It's a lot color. So we don't have anymore one identification color like in the past, maybe that was the yellow, the black, but we are full of color, and everybody can choose his own. My
last question to you. I'll have it with the white alloys, okay?
Okay. We can do it. We have our experts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
You wanted any pickups? That was Lamborghini's Chief Commercial Officer, Federico Foschini, demonstrating to you how you can make your Lamborghini even more you via the Ad Personam program. And you could go for the colour that the Urus is painted here. It's a matte grey, fantastic. Now, the Urus, of course, is the car that helped spearhead such massive growth for the brand over the last 2 or 3 years. Earlier on today, I caught up with President and CEO Stefano Domenicali to find out just how he masterminded that growth and where Lamborghini might be headed next. Here he is. Stefano, it's good to see you, as always.
Hi, Jason. Yeah, very good.
Geneva International Motor Show, to me, this is the one that fires the starting gun on the automotive year. Do you like shows like this? Come on, seriously. Do you enjoy it?
We do believe that the right strategy for our brand is to do special events in special places where really we need to invite our customer, we need to invite them in order to share with them really what is the philosophy of Lamborghini. That's what we're going to do even stronger for the future.
And you keep launching new cars, obviously. Hurricane Evo Spider, the latest. You happy with the reception with this? I mean, the technology in this car is extraordinary, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible because when we launched the Performante of the latest model of Huracan family, we thought, okay, we have achieved an incredible result. But with this, we did another step. And that's why, I hope that really our customer and our potential future customer can have the chance to test it. It's a very supercar, very easy to drive, but you can really, depending on which is the shift on the mode that you want to drive, you can have the maximum. You can be very sharp in Corsa, you can have fun with drifting in sport, you can be, just a lifestyle driving mode in Strada. Therefore, it's an incredible product. It's something that is taking us to another level. First car with the connectivity, for our customer, as I said, always very young. Therefore, great product.
The emotion, the balance between Lamborghini as an emotional brand, you guys talk a lot about passion, yeah? The balance between that and the technology, is that a tricky one for you to manage?
It's true, it's tricky, but it's vital. Fun to drive, emotion is a life experience. It's something that you want to have. It's something that you need to make sure that, is presented, because at the end of the day, this car has to have this kind of characteristic. Otherwise, they're missing something that has been always present in all the Lamborghini that was launched since the beginning in 1963.
And the Urus, which we see behind us, in a colour that we haven't seen before, Grigio Keres, I think. I've been doing my homework for you.
Perfect.
Yeah? Did you know what it was called?
No, I'm joking. Yes, I knew it, but
I
know for me much easier to say is a grey matte.
That's
because
what I
the
would say.
matte version is really getting more and more popular with the young generation. Therefore, we need to offer that also in that kind of product.
Very cool. But the Urus basically crowns an unbelievable period of growth for you, which you've presided over. What's next? How big can you go? How big do you want to go?
I think that we need to stay, from one side, focus on one element that is really the crucial point: exclusivity. So trade-off of growth and exclusivity is the key of our success for the future.
Stefano, you're a busy man.
Thank you, Jess.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you so much. He's a cool dude. That's Stefano Domenicali, President and CEO of Lamborghini. Well, that's it from the Geneva International Motor Show 2019. Thanks for watching. Can I encourage you all to keep watching? There's a little film coming up shortly. And join the conversation. Hashtag Lamborghini, hashtag Huracan Evo Spider, and hashtag Aventador Roadster SVJ. Thank you. And here is an exclusive look at the launch film for the Huracan Evo Spider. Thanks a lot. I did a thumbs up at the end. Thanks a lot. Not cheesy at all.
Every day amplified.